the greatest summer I can remember. I was 13 years old, and the air was filled with home runs. Maris hit 61, Mantle hit 54.
I don't think it's something that the public really knew about Roger Maris, the fact that he was, you know, a father and a gentleman and really a hell of a ball player.
Mickey had a real charismatic way of playing the game. He was a hero. He represented, at least in some respect, persistence through pain. And in a lot of ways, you know, that's what we're all dealing with.
So I came down this runway, holding my dad's hand. I'm 8 years old, and the sound of the stadium gets louder and louder. The smell of the mustard and hot dogs gets stronger and stronger. Beer here, program here. Welcome to Yankee Stadium. Come on, keep it moving. And then suddenly, you're here. An extraordinary place. That first visit, I'll never forget.
There's one. It is going. It is done. Every new year brings a new craze. 1961 brought the twist.
1961, it was, you know, John Kennedy was president. There was a lot of promise in the air. We had a young guy. This was the summer that made Mickey Mantle the superstar of superstars and Roger Maris the most misunderstood ball player who's ever lived. Two of them on the same team, chasing Babe Ruth's record, playing in the same ballpark, the house that Ruth built. The drama of this story is incredible. Recreating the summer of 61, this stadium, that team, those two guys, was an extraordinary opportunity for me. Thomas Wolfe once said, "You can't go home again." That's not true. I did. Back to 1961. We need you to go whack.
Oh, he's got it! That ball is deep to right field. Going. It is down! Number 56, Roger Maris.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium. We made the old place look pretty cool, huh? Don't worry, we're going to turn it back to Tiger Stadium, too, by next week. Anything modern you have to take off. Eyeglasses, hats, and some modern sunglasses I can see right over there. There's a couple of men wearing earrings. You have to take them off. There you go. Now you're in 1961.
Edge of your seat here. Edge of your seat here. Is this the moment?
So we should have an energy.
That's a home run.
All right, it's going to work out great. This looks really terrific.
Yeah,
It looks fast.
All right, good play, guys. Good play, guys.
I've auditioned a lot of people for a lot of parts in my career. This is the best audition process I've ever had. Usually it's step forward, tell me something about yourself. Can you sing? Can you dance? Can you cry on cue? Can you do this? You read part. Look what I have to do today.
He's out!
Does he have a...
Attaboy.
Good gun. Is he a pitcher? We have to put together a number of teams that competed not only with the Mantle and Maris and fill out the roster of the 61 Yankees, but also all their opponents. So this is a big, big job. So you got all of these guys coming out with a dream not only to get a chance to play ball, be out in the sun, but maybe be in a movie. I think those are perhaps the two greatest dreams that you know, people have nowadays. I want to be an athlete. I want to be in the movies. This is a catch in L.A. Yeah.
I told you! Get out!
Listen, let's have lunch. Now, I can't talk now. Now I'm in the middle of a catch. Right, hello? I'm losing you. I gotta go. Goodbye.
I don't know of any other director out there that has such a love and passion for the game. He has every nuance, every lineup from 1961 branded in his brain, and I mean, he becomes a resource in itself.
He's got a great face. He's got a real, you know, good look.
He's a good kid, too.
One of the reasons I love being involved with this project is to show people a simpler time in baseball. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Mickey Mantle. I limped like him for no reason. I did my bar mitzvah with an Oklahoma drawl. Made no sense anymore. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. I want to thank the rabbi and everybody here at Temple Beth Shalom. You know, that's how much I love this guy. I mean, from the first game I saw until today, he's still the greatest baseball player I've ever seen.
You know, Billy idolized Mantle in a lot of ways. There was some kind of magic about that guy that really touched him, and it's still with him, you know, when you talk to him, and when he talks about Mickey, then you can see it.
When HBO came to me and said, "You want to be involved?" I had to do it because I was fortunate enough to know Mickey Mantle pretty well. First time I went to a game was May 30th, 1956. My dad was in the music business, and we had Louis Armstrong seats. So I'm 8 years old. They took us down just outside the Yankee clubhouse. They took my program and took it inside, and Mickey Mantle signed it. I never saw him do it, but it was his signature. And 21 years later, I brought it on the Dinah Shore television show.
I mentioned earlier that he's going to be on an ABC series called Soap, which is going to be a big hit. But he'll be so nervous he won't get a chance to talk about it. Please say hello to Billy Crystal.
I need a Valium. I'm with, this
This is Mickey Mantle.
Hi. I have something here. 1956. I went to my first baseball game. I was 8 years old, and it was a Memorial Day doubleheader. Do you remember what you did that day? He hit it from here to my grandmother's house, which was way over here. But here, and you signed my program right here, and if you would sign it again.
Is that his signature? Is that your signature?
Yeah, would you verify
That's what he's checking up on.
Yeah.
And
I don't write like that. That's my signature then.
Okay.
Isn't that funny? Mine's too. I'd have broke my baseball.
He signed Whitey Ford. It's just one of those weird things where I got to meet Mickey Mantle and become friendly with him and spend as much time as I did. Mickey said to me once, "Hey, if they ever do a movie about me, I want you to do it, you little son of a bitch. You know more about me than me." And now I got the chance.
Billy Crystal lived this story. He lived it as a fan, and then he lived it behind the scenes.
Not many people can say that they became friends with their childhood hero. To be trusted with someone's life story and to tell it the way it should be told, there is no other person to tell this story than my dad.
Mantle gave him all of these wonderful gems of information about what happened during those years and with his relationship with Roger.
I've never worked on something where the integrity of the sport and the ideology of the sport was so important to a production. It's present in every performance, it's present in every costume, every set, every direction from Billy Crystal. I mean, it's not only dramatically inspired, it's personally inspired.
I think if Dad was here, he would really be proud to have Billy doing this movie for him.
He hasn't made it phony, you know? It's made it as real as it can be, and I think he would like that.
A couple of years ago, everybody went nuts when McGuire and Sosa went at it, and they should. But these two guys were on the same team. Let's just run the line just so we got that all perfect. The story of '61 isn't just about baseball. It's about two men competing for the cherished prize of hitting the 61st home run in this stadium where Babe Ruth played.
That was a magical number in baseball and had been ever since he did it back in the 1920s.
It was such a monumental, godlike record that it became precious, you know?
It was the Mount Everest of baseball, and here were a couple of guys trying to climb the mountain.
And we'll have all kinds of flash balls, and then we'll fall into sort of chaos. Hey, Roger, hey, Roger.
Right. How about that asterisk, Raj? What do you think about that?
You know what? You should do the asterisk. Can you pronounce it? This is a locker room of East LA College. We built the clubhouse of the 1961 Yankees to every detail. Every time I walk in here, I get all misty-eyed because this is where I wanted to be when I was a kid. Now I'm an old man and I'm here, but I made it. Roger Maris was a great player, but had no flair. but he did everything great. He didn't have the charisma that Mantle had. He didn't have the movie star, aw shucks thing that Mickey had. Well, who does? How do you find Maris and Mantle? How do you find these guys? Yeah. With Barry, I had seen Saving Private Ryan. The first time I saw him, the way the sun hit his face, I went, oh my God, it's Roger Maris. There's no one else who could be Roger Maris. The way Barry plays this part, the way he looks like Roger. I mean, it's striking when you see him and you see films of Roger Maris.
He was just a farm boy from North Dakota that didn't really know how to handle all that pressure and press. You know, when I first read the script and envisioning myself as Roger, I had nightmares. And I couldn't sleep, woke up in a sweat, and you know, I guess I just really taken the role on already, and it was just such a powerful script that it was hard not to really feel for him, you know. He went through so much that year.
As the season progressed and Maris looked like he was going to beat the guys, they went back and forth with each other. The fans and the press decidedly wanted Mickey.
Nobody wants you here! You hick, get out of here! This is the Bronx! This is Mickey's town! There it is, number 45, Roger Maris. Oh, they're letting him have it here at Griffith Park.
Mickey was the town hero. Maris, in a sense, was the imposter coming up and trying to unseat him, perhaps.
Truth was that Mantle and Maris were the best of friends, and the public, you know, in the mythic competitive sense, you know, wanted to create a kind of rivalry or a feud between these two, you know, giants of the game.
Nice doesn't sell. If Mantle and Roger got along great, so what do they type? They like each other a lot. It's cooler if they feud.
As for the M&M boys, I'm told there's also a rift, even a feud growing between.
Are we feuding? Yeah, I guess so. It's on TV. It was seen from several different angles. It was seen by, obviously, Ford Frick with an asterisk.
We're chasing a ghost. We're playing in his house.
This is the most respected record in all of sports, and I'm concerned that its integrity will be compromised by this new 162-game season.
There should be separate records, one for each season, and we could put an asterisk in it, all right?
What are you going to do, Raj? I mean, Frick used to be the Babe's ghostwriter. They were really tight.
I was in New York in '61 as a young actor there, and I remember the fever going on, and I have to say, the incredible bias in favor of Mickey.
Can you forget about the record and focus on winning the pennant?
That's what I'm doing.
They were making giants, and they could also rip giants down just like that.
I don't think that he really had that ability within him to be free and eloquent in his speech when he was in front of the camera. So that's taken a little bit of ingenuity on our part, Billy Crystal and myself, to try and develop the other sides of Roger Maris that weren't really there in the documentation that we read, where he was just light and fun and with his kids and with his friends.
It's funny because people want sort of that glossy packaged sort of hero, and I think that if people saw what he really was, he is the ideal hero.
Oh, 3 more days I would have been there.
Oh, honey, don't worry about it. I tried to wait for you, but Randy had other ideas.
Yeah.
Dad chose baseball as a profession to provide for his family. He was out there to do his job and to win championships. And he wasn't in it for the glory. He wasn't in it to become a celebrity.
Number 7, the center fielder, Mickey Mantle. Number 7.
Trying to embody another human being is it's a hell of an undertaking. If you can catch little flashes of him, then you're happy, you know, an inspiration, a real magic moment. You absorb everything you can, watching tapes and studying movements and seeing actions and stuff, and you got to kind of trust that some of that's going to stick.
They're extraordinary talents. When they started to understand more about Roger and Mickey, the more film I could get them, tapes, the more stories I could tell Tom, the more he understood why he wanted to be Mickey Mantle. And then the son of a bitch tells me he plays baseball. I meant that affectionately. He never played a game in his life, never even held a ball. This is one of those things, you know, you lie in an audition a little bit. I knew I wanted him to play Mickey, but also knew he had to play. I take him out to see Reggie Smith, great Dodger player, among other teams, Red Sox, Cardinals, and he's a switch hitter, one of the great ones, hit over 300 home runs. And Tom said to him, "How do you hold a ball?" I said, "Oh, I am in trouble."
Don't you say it. Don't you say it.
What league was this? Broadway Show League. You're the captain of the team from Cats.
A funny story, when I first called and spoke to him about playing, I asked him, I said, well, how much playing have you done? He said, well,
I ain't got no bad habits.
I said, uh-oh. There, now you see how your shoulders are starting to level out? Yeah. Just keep bringing it on through.
3 weeks later, Reggie says, "Come on out and take a look at it." And I didn't see Tom Jane anymore. I saw the beginnings of Mickey Mantle.
God, Prince. Reggie, you're a genius.
I told them both, I said, listen, Reggie can teach you all the mechanics of hitting. He did a fantastic job. But I've been imitating these guys since I'm a kid, and I'm at times a very good mimic. I'll show you every nuance. They know how long their spikes are, so they know how to smooth the dirt. It was freaky. I know I'm like Rain Man with this stuff. And then Roger, and just knowing that he would do that little thing, and to be ready to follow through and look up. And it becomes very important, because it's authentic. I want the guys who are on that 61 team and the fans of that team to look at this movie and go,
they're going to see stuff that might make them fall out of a chair. The way a player walks up and approaches the plate, the subtle way they're walking that came from an injury that they actually had that season.
There's a lot of myth behind Mantle's story. His dad died when he was a rookie. Both his legs were bad. He had a bone disease that plagued him his whole life. The guy had uncanny speed and power, and he was usually playing hurt. The guy did more stuff hurt than most guys did healthy. And the guy gave his body, you know, to the game.
He's all alone in this, and I'm going to get into your face like that. I know it all happens fast for you, but that's what to think about. Is it all? Yeah.
I think in a lot of ways he had that kind of fatalistic attitude that he wasn't going to be around for that long, so let's take it, you know, let's go.
There were real human, personal things that were driving him, and he survived it, and maybe he didn't end up ultimately the way we want all of our heroes to be, but, you know, he survived, and Roger, too, stood up to the pressure in his own way.
And welcome to 1961 here at Yankee Stadium. Actually, we're here in Detroit, in the old Tiger Stadium, which we have converted, refurbished, to make it look like the great old Yankee Stadium on the summer of 1961. This was a massive undertaking. It's one thing to design a set, a nightclub, a bedroom, or something, but to do a stadium and to change a stadium from blue and orange seats to the massive Yankee Stadium, to the perfect detail of screws and bolts and rosin bags and white lines, and it's been a remarkable journey to make this movie. I feel I've been in pre-production on this film since 1956, when I went to my first game in this ballpark. But let me show you some of the things we've done here to make 61 as authentic as it can be. This is the old Tiger Stadium. If you look at the roof up there, that's the old Tiger blue across the top. Yankee Stadium then was this light green color, and for those of us who remember it, it was a very romantic color almost. For baseball purists, we got it right. This ballpark was indeed another character. This is the house that Ruth built, but that year was the house that Maris and Mantle filled. Many people know I'm a Yankee freak. I'm wearing a cup now. With our amazing designer, Rusty Smith, we have done incredible research, right down to every little detail. He's the real MVP of this movie.
You know, you really, really want to be as faithful as you possibly can to what happened. And it wasn't that long ago. But yet, you know, because Yankee Stadium was like modified in the 70s, a lot of these things simply don't exist anymore, like finding what the true color was. And there's no really good representation of what the color was. And the Yankee management said, well, you know, Billy Crystal's got a chair. And so I asked Billy if we could look at his chair, and he got really sort of nervous because he was afraid we were going to like do something to the chair. And on one of our scouts here, he came up to me and he said, I got a chip. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, there was a chip on the chair. So from a little 1-inch square, we found the true Yankee green, and that's what you see around you today. The Yankee Stadium also has a third balcony, which we're going to be adding digitally.
We're going to take this whole second tier, clone it, and bump it up so you have a 3-tier stadium, and put the filigree and the facade up and all the neat 1961 architectural elements.
These are the famous monuments, which were Lou Gehrig, Miller Huggins, and Babe Ruth, which I've said on another HBO show when it was a Game 3. I thought they were actually buried here when I was a kid and went to my first game, because it looked like a cemetery. But the ability to do it right and make the movie the right way was a stroke of luck that the Tigers decided to move to a new ballpark, and we had this place to play in and change. Ballparks like these aren't made anymore. Tiger Stadium was built in 1912. Ty Cobb played here, Ted Williams played here, Hank Greenberg played here. Oh, I could show you something really cool but disgusting at the same time. Come on. This is the visitors' dugout. Come on, come on. I feel like Geraldo in the vaults. The visitors' clubhouse is up that way, so every Yankee, everybody who played here comes through here and gets up to this gorgeous field. But during the game, since you can't get up into the clubhouse, there's an area where the greatest baseball players of our time relieved themselves, and that is right here. You name them: Reggie Jackson, Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Ted Williams, Mickey, Roger, at some point peed in this thing. I just thought you might like to see that. Mantle also struck out 1,700 times in his career, so what Tom's doing is totally accurate. Am I bothering you? Yeah, double down the line. Just missed that. That's the thing you find about Major League Park. You hit it as hard as you can, and they're 100 feet short of the wall. You go, I got all of that one. Not really. Don't even begin to tell me about my power. There's nothing like this game to me, and it's a game that, you know, my dad got me to love, and in many ways, I just think about him all the time that I'm shooting this movie.
I never met my dad's father, and that is the most powerful part, that my dad was able to connect with his dad with something even though he's not here.
Oh, that was good. Long fly ball. This is deep. Look at it. Could hurt you when it hits the ground. Scramble for it. Scramble for it. Don't get it yet. Scramble for it.
I know we're in Detroit. We want to get rid of all the Tiger caps, please. Thank you. Thank you. Also, sunglasses. Yeah.
This is such a, adventure for him to really kind of manifest this project and make it happen. It's just a great thing to be a part of. These guys were legends.
Whitey Ford was a crafty lefty. Michael Hall is a crafty righty. So that's why the number on his back is backwards. So, and Michael, turn around, and the NY is not on his heart, it's on his breast. Then, what we do, we put him on the mound, and then crafty Haskell Wexler, Oscar winner, two-time Oscar winner, we then flip the film, and hence, Whitey is wearing 16, and this
now
is
he's a lefty. What?
And then he's a lefty. The magic of movies. Now, you all know way too much. So I called Yogi Berra and told him we're doing this movie. He says, you got the two guys? Because they was pretty good, you know. I said, yeah, I think you're going to like these guys.
Say hello to the real Yogi Berra, ladies and gentlemen, as the guest I understood. Three-time MVP.
So Yogi comes to Detroit, and he goes nuts when he sees Barry with the haircut and the 9 and the arms and the whole thing. It looks like Roger, doesn't it? Crew cut. Oh, boy. And then he looks out, he sees Mickey. He goes, yeesh, you got 2 kids.
Pretty good.
And I got the guy playing you. You met him?
Yeah.
6'2", blonde, blue eyes?
No, he's 6'2".
That's what I asked for. They must have sent another guy.
Mick, you gotta concentrate. You're not concentrating. 90% of the game is half mental. Remember that.
Who's Yogi Berra? 3-time MVP, Hall of Fame catcher, and he's sitting there eating a hot dog with you and telling you about these guys. But he's also giving you one of these. He's telling you you're getting it right.
Looks like it. The seats are the same color we had. Now if they were both alive, they'd probably be glad to have the movie made. I really do. I wish they were here to see it. That's the thing.
To this day, the home run and the home run record elicits more thrills and more enthusiasm from the average Joe than anything in sports.
It's like NASA, you know what I mean? When you see a rocket lift off, there's something just perfect about that moment, you know what I mean? It's just like dreams can come true, I think.
I mean, this one swing could have 14, 15 cuts in it.
And the home run is the blow that lives in our baseball lore and our literature. It's not a stolen base, it's not a sacrifice fly. It's always the home run that does it.
He's almost frozen, and he just watches it.
Once you get up to the plate, it's incredibly humbling. You realize what a feat of strength it is.
Roger Maris comes to the plate for the second time.
This is the day that he hits the home run that makes the title work.
Hits that ball, everybody's on their feet. Eye lines under.
You never get a chance to go back in time.
Watch me, I'll be behind
And
camera.
I think I have. The summer of '61 was the greatest thrill I ever had. I think with this movie, I've lived everything I thought it would be, imagined it would be. Being in their clubhouse, being on the field with them, watching Barry Pepper and Tom Jane be the two guys I so admired.
This is a dream, man.
Hope we're doing it right, Raj.
I had the best time of my life making this picture. It's this place, this team, this game, that summer. There were days when I'd come out to Tiger Stadium and I'd see them talking to number 7 and number 9, having catch in the morning sun. I'd just stare at them. Can you only imagine what Roger and Mickey would say if they were alive to walk in and see these two guys?
Good afternoon, ladies.